When your own children treat you like an ATM and then cut the card, what do? Some cry, some pray. Linda. She made sure they never had a quiet night's sleep again. This isn't just petty. This is legendary. Welcome to this channel. Like, share, and subscribe, because this one gets wild. In the stillness of the early morning, the echo of silence settled over Linda Bell's once lively home like a funeral shroud. Her hands trembled as she held the envelope. At 76 years old, she never imagined she'd be sitting in her kitchen, squinting at a letter that cut deeper than any knife. A certified notice from her son and daughter stating they were officially pulling all financial support. No explanation, no conversation, just a signature and a slap in the face. The toast popped up from the toaster, untouched. The kettle whistled, but Linda didn't move. Her dog, Bingo, a scruffy terrier with cataracts in both eyes, tilted his head at her in confusion. Even he seemed to sense something was off. She read the letter again. Effective immediately, we, Claire Donnelly and Daniel Bell, will no longer be able to offer financial assistance. We believe this will encourage a healthier level of independence and personal accountability. Claire's handwriting, still the same loopy cursive from childhood. Personal accountability. Linda scoffed. Is that what they're calling abandonment now? Just last month, Claire had begged her to help pay for Emma's orthodontist bill. And Daniel, he'd asked to borrow $5,000 for his business expansion that turned out to be a new motorcycle. Linda had said yes, like she always did, like mothers always do. She stood up, suddenly too furious to sit. The kitchen chair screeched across the tile. After everything I've done, she muttered. Everything. Her eyes drifted to the family photo on the wall. Christmas, 2016. She was smiling, wearing that hideous reindeer sweater Claire had gifted her. Everyone had looked so happy. Now she felt like the punchline of a cruel joke. Linda had been widowed for 12 years. She never remarried. She didn't need to. Her life had been filled with the joy of helping her children, doting on her grandchildren, being the matriarch everyone leaned on. But now they were cutting her off, as if she were some burden to be shed. She tore the letter into shreds and dropped them into her tea. Felt dramatic and weirdly satisfying. Later that day, the phone rang. She stared at it. Claire. He picked up. What do you want? Claire's voice was soft, careful. Mom, I just wanted to make sure you got the letter. Oh, I got it all right. Quite the touching sentiment. Personal accountability. Really? Don't be like this, Mom. We just think it's time you stand on your own 2 feet. We're stretched thin. Danny has expenses. I have 3 kids. I raised 3 kids alone after your father died, Linda snapped. And never once did I cut off my own mother. It's not personal, Mom. Linda went quiet. Claire sighed. Look, we love you. We just can't keep carrying this. You mean I can't keep carrying you? She hung up. The kitchen clock ticked loudly in the silence. Linda stared out the window at the house next door. Vacant. For months. The lawn overgrown. A faded bank-owned sign in the window. A wicked little spark ignited in her chest. She reached for her laptop, pulled up Zillow, and typed in the address. Listing price. $92,500. She checked her old annuity. $108,000. Linda smiled. Let's see how much noise a burden can make. The next morning, Linda sat with a fresh cup of tea and an old photo album in her lap. She wasn't the sentimental type anymore, but today, she needed to remind herself of all the years she'd given. Page after page revealed the life she had built for her children. The birthday parties she hosted in their tiny backyard, the handmade Halloween costumes, the senior prom photos, the college move-in day snapshots. Each image a receipt, a memory, a sacrifice. They act like I owe them something, she muttered, flipping to a picture of Claire as a teenager, arms crossed, scowling. That one had always been headstrong. And Daniel, charming, manipulative, and financially irresponsible since he was 19. Linda had paid off Claire's student loans without ever telling her. Covered Daniel's DUI lawyer. kept it all to herself. That was her mistake. Being quiet, being accommodating. Well, not anymore. She picked up the phone and dialed Darlene, her high school friend and now a licensed real estate agent with more attitude than a morning talk show. Linda Bell, is that you? Or is my coffee hallucinating? Darlene, I need you to help me buy the house next door. And I need it fast. Pause. Then laughter. You're serious? I'm already pouring the wine. Spill everything. Within a week, inspections were waived. Paperwork was signed. Linda paid in cash. Claire called during the closing. Hi, Mom. I was thinking we could all come over for dinner Sunday. Maybe talk this out. Oh, I'll be busy, Linda said sweetly. Moving. What? Where? Oh, don't worry. I'm not going far. She hung up. On moving day, Claire stood in her driveway slack-jawed, watching Linda direct movers into the house next door. Daniel pulled up moments later, flabbergasted. Linda wore a t-shirt that read, "Ask me about my boundaries." She gave a two-finger salute. The neighborhood had no idea what was coming. The very next morning, Linda was at the local hardware store by 8 a.m. She pushed a cart down the aisle with the confidence of someone on a mission of sonic vengeance. Her shopping list was bizarre to say the least. Motion-activated strobe lights, a fog machine, outdoor speakers, a karaoke machine, industrial-strength fans, and an entire bin of fake Halloween rats. The cashier raised an eyebrow. Big party coming up. Linda winked. You could say that. Back at the house, she began her transformation. What once had been a quiet suburban foreclosure was now turning into a senior-powered sound lab. Darlene showed up with donuts and champagne. You need backup. You bring the sass, I'll bring the noise. They cackled like witches over blueprints of chaos. The garage became her workshop. The back patio, DJ booth. The front lawn, a rotating art installation featuring inflatable flamingos playing bagpipes. Well, the flamingos were silent, but the bagpipe audio loop was very real. That evening, at precisely 7 p.m., Linda initiated Phase 1. She cranked up the speakers and let loose a thunderous blast of polka music. Accordion solos, relentless tuba beats, yodeling in surround sound. Daniel ran outside like a man on fire. Mom, what the hell? Linda, sitting in a lawn chair with a piña colada, waved calmly. It's called culture, Daniel. Maybe you should try it sometime. He stormed back inside. Moments later, Claire marched over in yoga pants and fury. Mom, seriously, what is this? Linda turned the music down a notch. Oh, I'm just enjoying my independence. Isn't that what you wanted? You can't just make noise all day. Actually, I can. City ordinance says 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I double-checked. Claire's nostrils flared. Linda leaned closer. You think this is annoying? Darling, we're still on the warm-up. She flipped the switch. Fog machine activated. By day 3 of Linda's reign, the neighborhood was buzzing. Half the block was horrified, the other half delighted. Kids on scooters slowed down just to get a glimpse of the mysterious old lady with a fog machine and LED hat. Linda had added new decorations to her front lawn. A giant inflatable goat in a tutu and 2 mannequins in lawn chairs holding signs that read, "Don't tread on me," and "Retired, not expired." At 6:59 a.m. sharp, she flipped the switch again. This time it was dubstep. High BPM. Thundering bass. The walls of Daniel and Claire's house actually vibrated. Daniel came flying out in nothing but boxers and socks. Mom, you can't be serious. Linda, dressed in a sequin robe, sipped her morning smoothie and pointed at the posted sign near her door. Legal noise hours, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Consult your local ordinance before complaining. Claire showed up minutes later, dragging the grandkids. They can't sleep. They can sleep at your house, Linda said. You're the one who wanted me independent, remember? That night, she hosted a soft rock silent disco for her bridge group. They wore wireless headphones and danced in unison on her lawn, giggling like high schoolers. Daniel peeked out the window in horror. "I swear she's turning this into a circus," he muttered. Claire sighed. "It's like she's winning." "She is winning," Daniel admitted. "And I think she's enjoying it." Linda smiled to herself from her patio throne. Oh, she was enjoying it all right. Linda had always been a planner. And now revenge was her project. She created a schedule. Mondays were gong hour, where she practiced Eastern meditation with a gong purchased off eBay. Tuesdays were karaoke night. Her renditions of Cher and Elton John became legendary. Wednesdays she brought in a steel drum instructor. Thursdays were dedicated to DIY home improvement, specifically loud drills, saws, and hammering. Fridays were senior rave nights, complete with glow sticks and disco balls. Daniel began documenting everything. He submitted noise complaints, called AITA, tried to get her cited for harassment. But Linda had read the bylaws. Everything she did was legal. Annoying but legal. Fay President Mrs. Travers stopped by. "Linda, some neighbors are complaining." Linda handed her a scone and a copy of the ordinance. "If they want quiet, they can move to a cemetery." Mrs. Travers blinked. The scone was still warm. She took a bite. "You know what? You have a right to live too." Linda winked. "That's the spirit." Word spread. Other seniors in the neighborhood began to stop by, asking for advice. Linda became a local hero. The #LoudLinda hashtag began trending locally. It didn't take long before the petty war turned emotional. Daniel's wife refused to let the kids go outside. Claire stopped hosting her weekend brunches. Linda could hear her crying one evening through the thin walls. But Linda wasn't moved. Not yet. Not after the way they cut her off. Then one night, after a geriatric glow party, Claire showed up on Linda's doorstep. Her eyes were puffy, her arms crossed. "Why are you doing this?" Linda looked her dead in the eye. "Because you taught me to be independent. I'm just embracing it." Loudly. Claire's face crumpled. "We were wrong. We thought it was best. We thought maybe if we pushed you away, you'd ask for help less. So you punished me for loving you too much." Claire broke down. "I'm sorry, Mom. I really am." Linda stood there, arms folded. She didn't offer comfort. Not yet. The wound was still too fresh. Daniel showed up 2 days later. He brought cookies. Store-bought, but still. "I acted like a jerk. You deserve better." Linda took the cookies, inspected the label. "Cheap brand. Figures. Come on, Mom. Give us a chance." She said nothing. Not yes, not no. But that weekend, for the first time in weeks, the house next door was silent. And that silence, it was deafening. The gavel hit the bench with a dull thud, and Linda sat upright in her bright orange pantsuit, unbothered. She wasn't the defendant yet, but she looked ready to be. Daniel had filed a noise complaint lawsuit, backed by the HOA. Claire sat beside him with her trademark scowl and a 5-inch binder labeled, "Evidence." Linda, on the other hand, brought a single sheet of paper. Her defense. She was a proud, tax-paying citizen hosting community wellness raves for retirees. "Your Honor," she said with a wink toward the stenographer, "is it illegal to dance to disco before sunrise? If so, I plead guilty to joy." The courtroom chuckled. Even the judge cracked a smile. Daniel's lawyer presented footage of Linda blasting "Stayin' Alive" at 3:30 a.m. while wearing a LED jumpsuit. Linda's response. That was Tuesday. The judge dismissed the case with a warning. "Mrs. Weston, I strongly suggest keeping your subwoofers under 85 decibels." Linda nodded solemnly. "Yes, Your Honor. I'll use my respectful volume playlist." Outside the courtroom, the media was waiting. A young reporter rushed over. "Are you really the disco grandma?" Linda adjusted her sunglasses and said, "Call me that again and I'll teach you the moonwalk." The video hit 10 million views in 36 hours. Titled "Senior Citizen versus Her Ungrateful Kids, The Disco Showdown." It had been posted by the courtroom stenographer's daughter. In it, Linda twirled in court, tossed a glitter bomb, and gave an impromptu speech about dignity after 70. She was invited to podcasts, talk shows, senior fitness ads. People sent her glitter cannons and requests to DJ their retirement parties. Daniel, meanwhile, lost a few clients at his financial firm. Claire was ousted as PTA president after the video of her screaming, "She's ruining my turmeric garden," was remixed into a TikTok song. Linda capitalized on her fame. She launched a YouTube channel called Noise Not Nonsense, where she taught seniors how to be delightfully disruptive, legally. In one episode, she taught viewers how to program Alexa to randomly shout Shakespeare insults at 2 a.m. "You don't need grandkids," she said. "You need Wi-Fi and a spirit of vengeance." Her subscribers exploded. Daniel and Claire held an emergency family meeting. Without Linda. "She's making us look like villains," Claire hissed. Daniel paced the kitchen. "We are the villains, Claire." Claire gasped. "Excuse me." She was right. We cut her off because she was inconvenient, not broke. We treated her like a burden. Claire folded her arms. "You're not going soft, are you?" "No. I'm getting smart. We need to apologize publicly." Before the Oprah interview, Linda got their apology via edible arrangement. She didn't even open the card. She returned the fruit but kept the pineapple. Then came the final straw. Linda bought a drone. A very loud, very legal drone. She programmed it to fly by Daniel's bedroom window every morning at 5:55 a.m. playing the national anthem on bagpipes. Her last YouTube post of the chapter ended with, "You took my peace. Took your sleep. We're even." But she wasn't done yet. The morning after the court verdict, Linda stood on her front porch holding a cup of mint tea, watching the neighborhood slowly awaken. Her kids' house sat still, the blinds down, the lawn neglected. She hadn't seen Claire or Daniel in 3 days. For the first time in months, it was quiet. Not her kind of noise. The delightful chaos of Linda's revenge symphony, but an unfamiliar, almost hollow silence. The kind that followed a storm. She sat in her rocking chair, petting Trouble, who now sat loyally at her feet like a lioness guarding a queen. "We made it, girl," Linda whispered. "Made our point. Loud and clear." She didn't smile. Not quite. But there was something peaceful in the lines of her face, like a woman who had found the center of her storm. That afternoon, the mail arrived with a crisp manila envelope. Legal papers confirming the new property deed had been finalized. Linda now legally owned both her home and the neighboring house. With the settlement Daniel and Claire had agreed to in court, the mortgage had been cleared entirely. Paid with their own money. Poetic justice. Maybe. But Linda didn't gloat. She was tired of gloating. She penned a simple note and mailed it to her children next door. "Daniel and Claire, I didn't do this because I hated you. I did it to remind you I still matter. That I'm not your pawn, your piggy bank, or your retirement plan. You shut me out, so I knocked on the wall until you heard me again. Forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Love. Mom, aka DJ Decibel." Over the next few weeks, things settled. Linda's disco at dawn retired. The pink flamingos stayed. Her HOA begrudgingly relented, citing creative senior expression after Linda's viral fame. Neighbors who once glared now waved. Teenagers took selfies with Linda's "No Drama Grandma" lawn sign. A few even asked her to DJ their parties. One afternoon, she got a knock at the door. It was Claire. She looked smaller, softer somehow. Tired. "I saw the video. You dancing with the dog. On top of a lawnmower," Claire said, eyes barely meeting hers. Linda chuckled, stepping aside. "Come in. I made lemon bars." It wasn't an apology. Not yet. But it was a start. And Linda, with all the stubbornness of a mother scorned and the flair of a retired theater teacher, was willing to start again, on her terms. She turned the porch light off that night. The disco ball stayed, but it no longer spun. Linda's saga became a Netflix docudrama. She donated part of the earnings to a senior empowerment foundation. Loud, living outrageously until death. She later remarried Frank, the HOA president, who confessed he always admired her spirit. Their wedding, held in her yard, flamingos in tuxedos, DJ booth and all. She gave a speech. Revenge is sweet, but redemption, that's the real party. Like this if you'd totally throw a rave at 78. Share this with someone who underestimates grandma. Subscribe for more stories where revenge wears reading glasses and orthopedic shoes.